Hey guys, hope you're having a great day, evening, sleep, whatever time it is where you're at. Today we're going to be starting a brand new little piece that is actually a different genre, so it's pop music with a bit of orchestral stuff in there. And yeah, you know, it's a little bit of a mishmash of two genres. So yeah, let's just dive straight in, shall we? Today we're going to be looking at how to use a channel strip and how I would generally use one. So it's going to be really, really simple, and we're just going to dive straight in because I want to keep this as short as possible for you, because obviously the last video that did not happen. So yeah, let's just have a quick listen, and then what I will do is I will be turning on the channel strips on and off so you can hear the difference. Here we go. This is without. Okay, now this is with. Okay, this is without. And that's with. Without one more time. Okay, so you can hear there's a little bit of a dB boost, but everything is clearer, it's a little bit more wide, and generally has a little bit more character to it. Okay, so how did I do that? Well, if we have a look at the drums, just for instance, you will see that I'm basically only using saturation, EQ, and compression. Okay, and before we go into too much, I just want to say that a channel strip, essentially, you know, I'm saying anything that does more, you know, that does EQ and compression and maybe a bit of saturation, in my eyes, is this. It is a channel strip. Okay, so if you've got anything that does those three things, then that's great. Yeah, even if I took the EQ and the compression off this, because they're not actually doing too much. The saturation is what's actually giving the character. Yeah, so the saturation is adding the information. Yeah, so it's giving it more character, and then I'm either accentuating what I want to be accentuated with the EQ, or I'm taking it out. In this case, I'm adding. So this is just, you know, it's just additive mixing for this. I use a mix of it, ironically. So yeah, so I'm using saturation here to shape the sound. So if I just turn off the EQ and the compression and pre, and we'll just solo these drums just so you can take a quick listen. Okay, just listen to me turning on the saturation. Okay, now the EQ. Cool. Yeah, so it's just adding character, isn't it? And that compressor is just gluing it together. So that's what I want you to think about is having, you know, the ease of having these, just one plugin essentially that does all of this for you. Because what I want you to think about is not just, you know, oh, this needs to be done, through a plugin on it, because you end up with too many plugins, and what ends up happening is it just gets too complicated and we lose track of where we are in the mix and what we're using as we go through it. And that doesn't mean that I don't use lots and lots of plugins, you know, on some of my tracks. I do, if they're needed. But this actually gets you 80% of the way there. You're just using one plugin and it's just on nearly every channel that you do, exactly like the oldies used to do back in the, you know, mainly back in the day. So this lots of people still do if you've got 50 grand, you know, in your back pocket. So yeah, that was the drums. Let's just take a little look as well at the strings, short strings here. we'll go straight over. Okay, so here you can see that I'm doing exactly the same thing. Adding a bit of saturation, and then I'm adding a little bit of highs and tone there. And I've also got a lot more compression here because actually I wanted to make them louder because they're quite quiet. Okay, so we can take a little quick listen to that. Okay, and don't worry about this, compressing at 9 dBs because I've got a fairly fast release. I could have that. And basically, I just want to get the transient. So I could bring that down a little bit actually. I'll bring the attack down as well because that's essentially what I want, is I want a fast attack and a very fast release. Yeah, and that sounds a little bit more natural. Yeah, right, okay, so last one now, let's just take a look at the pianos. I've not put anything on the pianos except for on the channel strip. So here you can see I'm doing a little bit more now. I'm taking a little bit of this, the high end out with the de-esser. Okay. Without the de-esser, this is what it sounds like. Yeah, it's just those super highs. Those super highs are the things that are getting in the way. I'll just solo as you can hear there. Just a little bit of saturation and a fair amount of compression actually. I didn't change anything on the compressor, so it sounded good and I just went with it. Okay, so you can see there that there's such a stark difference, isn't there, between just one plugin across everything, you know, and you're just using EQ, compression and saturation within that. Then afterwards, that then creates the foundation for when you're ready to really mix it and bounce it down and whatnot, for you to actually go in and start to really refine everything, because now everything is clear. Without it, it was a bit muddy and it was very, very hazy in where everything was, but there's clarity to it now that transcends what was there before. Okay, so I hope that was useful. If you get anything from this video, it's that just keep it simple. Using channel strips and plugins that have lots of multiple types of plugins within them is really, really good to utilize. So thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video.